BYU Fall Camp for 2012 had its first scrimmage at LaVell Edwards Stadium today. I'm Jared Lloyd, Daily Herald sports editor, here with Jason Franchuk, BYU football columnist. Jason, what were your thoughts as you checked out the first scrimmage action today?
Well, we saw a lot of running backs. That's the first thing you notice is how many guys they have that are capable catching out of the backfield, running. The guy who really impressed me, Jared, was Jamal Williams, the freshman. We knew him coming in. He was kind of a quiet name coming in off that spring signing period, and everybody talked about, well, he's lanky, he's young, he may need a little time. That kid looks like he can play right away and maybe provide a different gear for this team that BYU fans don't see in Provo very often. So I'm going to be curious to see how they fit him in. Bronco wouldn't get real specific of how they might use him or if they'll redshirt him.
I liked it. You saw what I saw. There's some ability, and he's fun to watch, and he catches the ball well, but he also can break a tackle and run around you.
I talked to Coach Dupay about it, and he said he wants to get the best guys on the field. That's his whole goal as far as what he's going to do. And I thought David Foote really showed well. Jamal Williams, of course, quickly became a crowd favorite. They know who he is. They know he's coming in with the speed and the idea. So the fans here knew what he was able to do. But David Foote also did well. Liked Adam Hine, what he was able to do. So some good things from the running backs. What did you see defensively? The defense got some decent stops during the team action today.
Yeah, it's an interesting opportunity when you don't have Kyle Van Noy playing and how guys are going to work around him. I think their secondary is going to be pretty good. And that defensive line, they can get to the quarterback. They flustered Riley a few times. They pressured Riley Nelson to the corner one time near the end zone. He floated one over the middle of the field, and that's the one that BYU fans are saying, we can't have that play. That's the play they cannot allow to happen. But I think they're going to be the kind of team that's going to have moments on both sides of the ball that they can control the action. We don't always see that around BYU.
Well, and that's what happened today. That was my impression. You had, the first drive for the offense. They moved it down, had some problems, took some time. Eventually, Nelson was able to find false left for a touchdown, which was a very nice play to kind of cap that first drive. And then the defense came back, won a couple of the next drives, and offense came back and drove it down. So kind of back and forth and some good things. But if you talk to the coaches, and Mendenhall said this, Dupay said this, they're all going to say they got a ton of work to do before they get going. Any thoughts on what you think this team needs to do now after you've seen them kind of out here doing this?
Well, I think it's always interesting with Riley. We talk about how much he keeps plays alive, and there is a benefit to that, but who's going to be able to react to those things well? Receivers, what running backs kind of have a feel for where do they need to be? How do they need to block? How do they need to find themselves open as safety valves for Riley? But, they threw one play. You mentioned that touchdown pass to false left. I asked Riley about that, and that was a play they've worked on. They've looked at a lot in film because teams guarded that a certain way, and the Cougar defense came out and guarded it similar to how teams did last season, apparently, and they were real happy. Riley walked off the field, and Brandon Doman, the offensive coordinator, high-fived him. Max Hall, the former quarterback, helping out, gave him a 5. Just things like that.
Once I was able to, see that they were running the linebacker with him, we wanted to take advantage of that. So that's what they were most happy about. When you see something in film and you talk about it, then you go and execute it. You get the opportunity to execute it. Coaches get real happy, so that was good.
Yeah, I don't think they're quite ready to start the game prep yet, but we're only 3 weeks out.
Amazing.
First football games coming up in 3 weeks. Still a lot of camp left to go, and we'll be there to cover all of the action and figure out what happened. The last thing, Jason, they stayed healthy today.
Yep.
In these scrimmages, they've had injuries, and the only thing was a returned ankle of a guy, Brock Stringham, that was already hurt.
And real quick, Jared, let's give credit to Yona Pritchard, who came out here, and Bronco Mendenhall was asked about doing live special teams, wouldn't do it because of what happened to Pritchard last year on this field, lost his season with that injury. And Pritchard told me he came out listening to the same music as he did under the field last year. He wanted to just say, hey, this is not a curse. I'm going to go out and do my thing, and I think you got to give a kid a lot of props for that, because that's a mental hurdle there that he really cleared today.
He got crunched a couple of times. He got hit and taken down, and he played well out there here at the scrimmage. So Jared Lloyd, Daily Herald sports editor, with Jason Franchuk, football columnist here at LaVell Edwards Stadium. You can check out all of our content at CougarBlue.com.
I need a cold water and an ice bath. Stat.